Hey, Candace. Biggest supporter. We love you. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Auntie Johnny. Hey, Danielle. Giving everybody a second to join. Here you go again with this nap, Candace. I already told you ain't no nap time. No nap time. No nap time. We're going to give everybody a second to join and we're going to go ahead and get started.
Hey, Kalia.
We're going to give everybody a second to get on here and join. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank y'all for supporting us. We really appreciate y'all. Hey, Cousin Kathy. Hey, Antoinette. We're going to give everybody just 10 more seconds to join. We're going to go ahead and get started with the people we have on here. And everybody else can kind of just catch up on what we're talking about because we don't want to lose our viewers.
Welcome to the Righteous
and the Ratchet
podcast. I'm Danielle, and of course, I'm from the Righteous point of view.
And I'm Jasmine. Y'all already know what side I'm on.
Shaking my head.
I'm just saying.
These topics today, we gonna jump right on in. But before we get started, we got a few disclaimers. Disclaimer number one. We are both grown.
Okay.
And any ideas, thoughts, or opinions shared on this page are our own thoughts and opinions. They do not represent any organizations or jobs or anything that we happen to be a part of. Disclaimer number two. This is a hot topic today. Yes. And we typically talk about hot topics.
Hot sizzling.
It's going to be sizzling, scorching hot. And sometimes the language that is used may be sensitive to your ears. Okay. So if that pertains to you, this is your chance to
chunk the deuce.
Left.
Chunk the deuce.
Disclaimer number three. Again, we're grown. So don't be calling our mama.
Don't call my mama.
And don't be calling my grandma.
Don't call my grandma.
Or none of our family.
Don't call nobody I'm dealing with.
What we talking about.
Clearly.
Join us in the comments. Okay? And we'll look at your comments so we can have the conversation. Okay, now we're going to jump right on in.
Before we get started, please share. It takes nothing for you guys to support. It takes nothing for you guys to share, comment, and like. Please, we like interaction. We're going to be trying to reach your comments as best as possible as we're going through this because we want to hear y'all's opinion as well.
Absolutely.
So, I hope everybody shared. My mama isn't here yet, and I know y'all just love her. I actually just seen her pulling up, so she's going to be coming in here trying to cause havoc in a minute. But the subject that we're talking about today is really touchy. And the reason why I say it's really touchy is because it's going on currently. It's in society today. I know you guys have all seen what's going on in the news with George Floyd. I know you guys have always been watching the news with everything that's going on in society with us African Americans. So we're going to start the questions off with, to my sister, what is the hardest part about growing up black?
Well, the hardest part for me.
Let me say this, because I asked my sister this because she's raising two sons. She's raising two African American sons. She has an African American husband. I mean, he can pass for, a house.
I know you did.
He can pass for a house nigga. But he's African American. And then she also has two African American kids, and I'm raising an African American child. So what do you feel like the hardest part about growing up black is?
The hardest part for me, about teaching and raising my children is having the conversation that they're not viewed as they view others. That's the hardest part. Being a mother, when everything happened with George Floyd, my sons happened to be down the street at one of their Caucasian friends' houses playing. They were walking back, and Brendan had a toy gun, and he turned around to shoot his friend. They were playing cops and robbers. And I immediately went into overdrive because my nerves got bad, because I thought if a police officer or anybody were to ride by and see my black son with a black little, water gun, whatever kind of gun it was, shooting it at a white boy, that could potentially turn negative real quick. So I immediately sat them down and I had a conversation about everything that's going on, censored as much as I could, but real as much as I could, to explain to them what happened with George Floyd and how this continues to happen. It's not right. We don't like it, but this is our reality at the moment. This is something that we are all working to work through. And to listen to my 4-year-old, Penelope, ask me, Mommy, well, Mr. Floyd, he's going to wake up and go home to his mommy, right? Broke my absolute heart in pieces. That is the hardest part of raising black children, is that my children are loving, they are considerate, they are compassionate, they are friendly. And to have to explain to them, these are the conditions that I'm raising you in. It doesn't seem right. I know it doesn't seem fair. And you're not going to always understand it, especially from Penelope's point of view. She's a very little person. You're not going to always understand it, but unfortunately, this is the hand we're dealt at the moment. That doesn't mean that change is not going to come, but right now, that's what we're dealing with. So that is the hardest part of it for me. What's the hardest part of it for you?
I think the hardest part about growing up back, and let me give you a little background on me. So my mama always had me with the white folks. I'm just going to be totally brutally honest. Yeah. I was in high school. I was in the Liberal Arts Science Academy. We were upstairs with the white folks. I wasn't downstairs. I was downstairs with the black people fighting because people was trying. The black girls was trying my patience. So yeah, I was down there. I'm sorry. Because the black folks was down there trying my patience. So I would go down the stairs and I would have a fight or two. Then I'd go right back upstairs with the white folks. Then in college, I was recruited for volleyball at Concordia University. Everybody knows that Concordia University is predominantly white. I would sit in the classroom, everybody around me is white, and I'm the only black girl up in there. I guess that's why I act kind of, on the other side. But I think me sitting back and being in the environment that I'm in, I think that the hardest part about growing up black was realizing that being black was an issue. Yeah. Listen to me when I say this again. Realizing that being black was an issue. I say this to say that me and my sister had a very heated discussion the other day. We both was yelling at the top of our lungs, and neither one of us could. You a goddamn lie. Girl, this girl was yelling so loud because I told her that the problem with African Americans is instead of using this, we use this, and we use these. Instead of stepping back and realizing that maybe if I were to have done it this way, maybe if I would have thought this through, we go and we just pop off at the mouth. We go and we just want to use our hands. We go and we just want to fight instead of using our brains and thinking things through. So the fact that I had to step back and realize that being black was an issue, it was really touching to me. Like I told you, my mama had me up there with the white folks. I wasn't really, and you know what? My mama is the African American advocate. She takes people on black college tours. She wants you to go to historically black colleges. She always wants you to be around black people. But yet still the education system for African Americans wasn't up to par for my mother. My mother wanted me to be upstairs, dissecting animals instead of just reading about the animals. So, rise above your emotions, you're correct. But that's the hardest part about growing up black for me, is realizing that being black is even an issue, because I didn't grow up like that. Me and my sister, we had gold and silver spoons. And that's another problem that I have. Everybody always wants to associate being black with a struggle. Just because I'm black does not mean that I have to struggle. You see?
Okay, Paul. So let's work through that thing in a couple of chunks. The conversation my sister is referring to, we had the other day. It was a result of some things that we had seen in social media. And I said to her that regardless of how I respond when I'm pulled over by an officer, it is his duty That's what he took an oath to do. It is his duty to protect and to serve. Not when you pull me over and I ask a question, it turns into I'm dead now and I won't be able to go back home to talk to my family. I won't be able to, you won't even get the money that you thought you were going to get by putting me in jail. That was my commentary. My sister's commentary was,
don't talk for me. Let me talk for myself.
Here she goes.
Here's my thing.
Here's what's wrong with African Americans. Here we go.
Take a walk with me. When you're young, you have a goal set to what you want to be in life. As you get older, you become what you're becoming in life. And I'm going to step up to the table. Those police officers are people in uniform. They're people in uniform. Not all of them are bad, because your next door neighbor could be the racist bastard that police officer's being. Take a walk with me. We're at the police officers, right? Here's my problem with African Americans. Those police officers are scared. They want everything that, especially the white, they want everything us black. If you haven't seen Get Out, you see how fast we run. You see how big our muscles are. You see how clear our skin is. Them white police officers want everything we have. So in order to keep these, if the police comes up to you and says, pulls you over for a tail light, right? I'm pulling you over for a tail light. And I ask you, because in the back of my mind, I know that
you don't have to yell at anybody talking over you.
Because I know in the back of my mind that I know that I could potentially be killed. Not just because of my color, just because of how I react, is what I'm saying. So if he comes up to you and says, can you please step out the car, ma'am? Instead of using this, why do I gotta step outside my car? Why do I got rights? Why do I gotta do what you tell me to do? Instead of doing that, how about just step outside the car so the police officer can feel safe as well? How about not just step out? If you feel like your rights have been violated, how about not use this and put a pen to paper and handle it the legal way? That's what's wrong with us black people. We start talking. We talk too damn much. And me, trust me, I do it too. But if an officer asks me, Jasmine, can you please step outside the car, because he's scared. This puny white man is scared. So he gonna sit there and say, can you please step outside the car? Yes. If that's what will make you feel comfortable with talking to me, and don't think that I'm reaching inside trying to grab a knife or a gun, then yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, now let's revisit this. And I listened to everything that you had to say. Here we go. If an officer, a helping professional, is afraid, you are in the wrong profession.
They're people.
No, I listen to you. I listen. If you are afraid, you are in the wrong profession. Officers are called to people trying to jump off the building. Officers are called to people held up in their house trying to shoot at them. They are called to a myriad of issues. They are called to a myriad of calls. If you are afraid of me because I'm chocolate, you're in the wrong profession. Period. Point blank. That's first. Listen, that's first. Number two, I totally agree. I totally agree. When an officer pulls you over, this is not to say that it is right. This is to say, I want to get home to see my family. When an officer pulls me over, I totally agree. Yes, sir. No, sir. My hand's on the steering wheel. I need to reach for this. I need to do this, blah, blah, blah. I'll get out of the car. Yes, sir. No, sir. Then after the fact, if you've been done wrong, if you've been handled wrong, paper, litigation, laws. That's the way to affect change. However, because when I'm pulled over, if I ask you a question and you take my response the wrong way, then you get agitated, and because that adds on to fear.
I feel like you're hollering at me though.
I'm not hollering.
Bring it to it too.
I'm actually in a lower tone than you were.
It sounds like you're heavy in the chest.
I'm actually in a lower tone than you were. However, if when I respond to you, you don't know how to culturally understand my response to you, and you take it as disrespect, or she popping her neck, she talking trash, then you ask me to get out of the car and it escalates and you take my life. So what was the point of you stopping me from the gate? Either you were scared and you had intentions to take my life,
was out,
or you were scared and the way you responded to me because you didn't understand me was wrong. That is what happens. Officers, every helping professional, I have written this in every last one of my classes, especially those here that I'm taking right now. You have to be culturally aware. Because let me tell you something. When a black parent says, I'm going to give you something to cry about, it's the same thing as a white parent saying, Johnny, you're on my last nerve and I'm out to respond to you. You have to know culturally what those things mean. If I say it, it's the same thing as Jack or Jill saying it. It's just, it takes a different tone when I say it because I'm black. It's the same thing in learning body language, understanding cultural responses. Because I've had this happen to me, not even 3 months ago. My eyes are big, and that's how I communicate.
Big.
Hater. They are big, and that's how I communicate. It's my eyes. My face does not necessarily, you're going to be able to tell how I'm feeling about you by my face. I responded right to everything the officer said, but he took offense to how my eyes were speaking to him. I knew this officer was way shorter than me. Had I gotten out of the car, because I'm taller than him, he's in fear for his life now because I'm taller than him. My eyes are saying something crazy and he don't know how to culturally respond. Again, I'll say, if you are in a helping profession, officers in particular, you take an oath to protect and to serve. If you are scared for any reason, you're in the wrong profession.
Because being scared. I have to stop you right there. Because I used to be a caretaker, and I was taking care of these big old man, 6 foot, who slapped me down to the ground. He had mental issues. This man said I was scared out of my life.
Then you should have got out of the profession. You're not in it anymore, are you?
No, because I'm
exactly.
Oh, hold on.
Exactly. You were scared.
You know what?
And she's no longer in position.
Why would you go against the people? And answer my question. Why would you go against the people that you call for a domestic dispute? Who do you? As a matter of fact, who do you call when you're in a domestic dispute? Answer me.
I'm definitely.
Answer me. Just say one. Who do you call when you're in a domestic dispute?
My family.
No, girl, stop. Okay.
I'm definitely. And I'm just being honest. If I'm in a
no, because you don't talk too much. Who do you call if somebody broke into your car?
I call my husband first.
You know what? I'm done with this conversation because she's not gonna be honest. Mama, who do you call if somebody broke into your car?
Police.
Say it again, Mama.
Police.
My mama has arrived. She calls the police. Who do you call if you're in a domestic dispute?
Get my police.
The police.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you call if you're in a wreck and you want to determine who right or wrong?
Police.
Y'all, do y'all hear this? Do you hear what I'm saying? Why would you go against the people that you call to protect yourself? But then I got another question.
Wait,
who do you call?
Need to restate that because you just said, why do you go against the people that
why are you going against the people that are? Why are you going against people who are protecting?
Because they're taking lives for no damn reason. If you don't, excuse my language.
The reason.
If you don't understand culturally how to respond to black people, if you're not taught culturally how to respond to people of color, everything you take out of proportion.
But this is what
everything you take out of proportion.
This is what Johnny doing. Yes, sir, officer. I'll get out the court. That's why they letting Johnny go.
No,
but here go what Bonquisha doing. Bonquisha, I got to get out the court. I got rights.
So because Bonquisha has personality and responds with an attitude, she deserves her life to be taken.
No, she doesn't.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Nobody ever deserves their life to be taken.
Where we agree is when an officer pulls you over, there is a way to respond. So you can get home to your family.
It is.
I totally agree. However, just because we have conditioned ourselves to respond a certain way doesn't make it right.
Okay, so
because there are several videos of Johnny, Jack, and Jill and them getting out the car acting a fool. And they don't get arrested. They don't get tased. They don't get thrown to the ground.
Which brings me to my point. You know you're black. You know your ass is black. And you still gonna sit there and act a fool? You know you black. You know you're black.
I agree.
You in the back of your mind, you know that these police officers are killing black people. And you gonna sit here and respond that way instead of just getting at the cross and yes, sir, officer.
Let's respond to a few comments real quick. Francesca says, you know what job you signed up for. If you are unable to fulfill that job description, you shouldn't be a cop. I absolutely agree. Auntie Glenda says, if you make it through the stop. Totally agree. Marilyn Nicole says, when the police pull me over, I immediately let them know I am
MMHR.
I am MHMR and I don't have time for no bullshit. Holy Ghost. Francesca says, but what was George Floyd doing? This right here
We don't know.
Is the ticket for me because we see several videos. We saw several videos. The first video, he was approached he was in his car actually. The police were called on him because they thought he gave a counterfeit $20 bill.
I need to know this part.
No, they thought he gave a counterfeit $20 bill. He was in his car when the police approached him. They dragged him out of his car. He got out of the car and resisted initially.
He resisted
initially. Once more officers came, he complied with what they asked him to do. They put handcuffs on him, sat him against the building. Once they sat him against the building and they continue to investigate, the officers get pissed off for some reason. We don't hear any verbiage in these altercations, at least the videos I've seen. They take him from against the building to the police officer's right side of the car. How he gets from the right side of the car to the left side of the car I have not seen. Once he gets to the left side of the car, not only one officer has his knee on his neck, there are 2 other officers on the top of this man's body who are not seen to the naked eye until you see the other viewpoint.
So again, that brings me to what I'm saying.
Again,
if black people were to just use this instead of using this and using this and using this and using this,
Alexis Gates brings up a great point. She says, but not all black people are acting a fool.
That's my problem. I'm not acting a fool either. Me and you, Alexis, is Alexis black or white?
She's black.
I'm about to say,
she's mixed.
I'm not agreeing with you if you white. But what I'm saying is, Alexis, I totally agree with you. Y'all see how I act. I act like this in front of everybody. But when I see an officer, and in the back of my mind, I know that they killing black people. Just the other day, they shot somebody in the damn head with a rubber bullet, and I know that they killing black people. Why am I sit there and act a fool in front of the people that I know got power?
But that one right there.
That again, I agree.
Right next to
the water. I agree.
And the target is the black people.
It doesn't matter.
Right you know you're a target.
So let me say this, and
you know you're a target.
Let me say this, and then we'll move to the next question. I'll say this, and we'll move to the next question. When the situation, I always feel like black people attempt to depress and ignore until it comes to their home. We want to get over it and push past it until it comes to our front doorstep. So I pray to God I don't never have to deal with this, because I tell you what, they kill any of my sister or my brother or my family, it's gonna be a problem.
They're not killing me.
The societal and cultural unrest that is happening right now is not just a result of George Floyd.
So let's go to, is it all lives matter or is it just Black Lives Matter?
Absolutely Black Lives Matter. Let me tell you why.
What? Is this what Jesus was saying?
Let me tell you why.
The WWJD?
It's absolutely what he was saying. Let me tell you why.
Lord,
I read a cartoon character yesterday, and it showed two houses. One house was on fire, the other was not. The person's house who was a white person, and the person's house who was on fire, the person's house who was on fire was a white person. The person's house who was not on fire was a black person. The person's house who was not on fire had a water hose. He was black. He was watering his yard and spraying his house. The white person says, I need that water over here. Well, why do you need the water? Where is your water hose? Well, it's important because my house is on fire right now. But this is my water hose. And I'm making sure that my house doesn't catch on fire from the embers of your house.
Is this a Jesus story?
I'm telling you, I read a caricature. It's the same principle. When the house is on fire, that is what needs the focus. Nobody's saying because Black Lives Matter, nobody else's lives matter. Nobody's saying that. I've read Black Lives Matter, their website. I've read their posts. I've looked at several videos. Nobody's saying right now, because we're saying Black Lives Matter, that no other life matters. Black lives are on fire. Do you hear me?
Because
we are under attack. Black lives are. Not white lives.
And knowing that we're under attack, knowing that we are under attack, why would you sit there and pop off at the mouth when an officer pull you over? That's all I'm saying. I'm for black people.
No, you're going back into a different conversation.
You just proved my point. You proved my point.
You asked if Black Lives Matter or white lives matter. Again, My children, I have several white friends, Latino friends, black friends, African friends, Mexican friends. I got them all. Do you hear me? It's probably a lot of y'all on this dang on live. I got them all. But every life, every person that I have impacted, whether LGBTQ, white, Hispanic, Latino, they all recognize the injustice that is happening right now with Black lives. So why would we take the moment to
because
explain
our
to you?
black asses is in the house while the white folks down there protesting for us.
Unfortunately, see, that's another.
But their lives don't matter. Their lives don't matter. The fact that they're down there protesting for us while we're sitting in the house cooking, baking, and eating.
That's not true. That's not true.
Our lives don't matter.
I did not say our lives don't matter. You don't listen.
I guess I
because the folks,
You obviously don't listen. I just said all lives matter. But right now, Black lives are under attack. That's where the focus needs to be. Just like when LGBTQ was under attack a couple of years ago. It was a lot. I don't agree with that lifestyle. However, I have several people in my life that I love, beyond love, that happen to identify that way. I would never, ever, when we standing up for LGBTQ lives that matter, say, oh, well, Black lives matter right now. Because at that particular point in time, although Black lives have been on fire for a long time, right now we're standing up for the LGBTQ lives that matter. Just like when all the women were marching. All women had turned their Facebook pages to a Me Too movement. Whatever the movement was, we all supported. So when we support women, when we support the LGBT community, when we support every other,
whoever in the spotlight, basically.
facet, no, I'm just saying, when we support every other facet, why is it now that when it's Black lives that matter and it's Black lives that are burning at the damn stake, now we gotta, Black lives matter and all lives matter too.
I feel like you're hollering.
That is crazy. And no one, not me, not anybody that has said Black lives matter, has negated the fact that all lives matter. I don't believe that any police officer should take anybody's life. That's stupid.
Because they're Black police officers.
It's asinine. It's stupid. And again, I have my damn daughter, my Penelope's godfather is a police officer. As a matter of fact,
a white one.
He's a white police officer.
He's a beige.
He is and I don't like to call them white, but he is a white police officer. And I tell you right now today, there's nothing that man would not do for not just Penelope.
You scratch him, he'll bleed
but
blood.
For myself, my family, my children, and my husband. Not all white people are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm also not saying all lives don't matter. I'm not saying that. What I am saying right now, the focus needs to be on the lives that are at stake. White people can get, like you said earlier, they can get pulled over, they can cuss a police officer out, and they go right on home. But let a Black person have the same response a white person does, and we dead in the street.
No, we don't have those responses, which is the problem.
No, we do.
No,
because there are definitely lots of white people, and I'll send you videos, and I told you that before. There are lots of white people who cuss them out.
Let me go ahead and say this, because I'm for Black people. I'm not against us. I'm Black. I grew up Black. I'm for Black people. I'm not against us. But what I'm saying is, if we started thinking and started responding different, half of us.
I agree.
Half of us wouldn't be in the situation that we in.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
But that's all I'm saying.
I agree. But there have been situations where responses have been correct and lives have still been taken.
So let's talk. Okay, so no. So here's what the solution has been in Austin. Looting. Looting has happening at the hair store. We got these Black people running up in here trying to get bags of hair at Big Joy's looting. Y'all looting the wrong things. So now y'all know what the Chinese people gonna do?
Looting, that was
looting.
Let her talk.
They said it was looting. So now what's gonna happen? The bags of hair that y'all used to get for 99 cents gonna be $6. Now the gel that we used to get to gel down our edges is gonna be $18 because y'all done sat there and robbed Big Joy. What did Big Joys have to do with this?
Okay, let me say this.
Well, you know, because you take me that they hurt them in the pockets, and it's gonna hurt us in our pockets too, because then we gonna have to be paying more money for some goddamn jail.
Maybe so, but let me say this: rioting and looting.
No, we talking about looting right now.
Shut up and let me talk.
Looting.
Shut up. Rioting and looting are to the social justice movement. What's working is to self-expression or dance.
Girl, bye. Now you trying to justify that Black girl sitting there twerking in front of police officers. That's goddamn ignorant.
I'm not justifying anything if you don't shut your mouth up and listen.
That's not nice.
Hush.
Shut up.
You hush your mouth. I listened to you rant. Did I not?
Yes, ma'am, Mama.
Okay.
Don't say shut up.
Like I said, rioting and looting are to the social justice movement what twerking may be to dance and self-expression. She chooses to twerk. I don't. I choose to twerk behind closed doors or whatever it is that I may choose to do. It's a difference in expression. Rioting and looting are expressions of what black people, not just black people, because white people do the same stuff. I almost said shit, excuse me. White people do the same stuff. Rioting and looting are an expression of what people are fed up with. If you choose to, I do not agree. There you go talking, and I was not. I was there talking. You were talking. No, lies. I listen while you talk. Lies. Because you choose to riot and loot, that's your
Thank you,
expression.
Francesca. The difference between looting and stealing, because them
Again, if you let me finish talking.
Francesca, the black people were stealing packs of hair in jail and shampoo and shit, and now because of them, those packs of hair that y'all use to braid y'all hair is gonna be $6 damn, and now I'm mad about it because I may one day want to get some braids, and now I'm not gonna be able to because I gotta pay $6 a bag.
I can't type fast enough.
Okay.
The definition of looting is stealing goods during war or rioting. Joyce had nothing to do with that shit that y'all was doing down there.
Let me say this. Y'all are so concerned, and I have been meaning to make a post about this. Everybody is so concerned with what is happening with the looting and everything. Do you not know that all of those corporations and businesses have insurance? Just yesterday.
Not all of them.
You a lie. Just yesterday, Target sent an email to me.
I got punched down in Midtown. They didn't have no insurance. Stop saying all businesses.
Midtown is not a corporation.
It's a bit. You said
I just said corporation.
How you know?
And Midtown does have insurance. They didn't choose to use their insurance for you.
They didn't.
Exactly.
My lawyer looked it up. They
still have it. They have to have insurance to be a business and establishment.
Don't
lies.
Which is
Anyway,
why people get shut down.
They have
in a different disagreement.
they have insurance for purposes like this. Target just sent an email yesterday saying that they stand with the black community. They understand
because they don't want y'all black ass.
They don't want
you
y'all
talking
black ass
and
me talking.
breaking in.
Be quiet. They just sent an email yesterday and more than one email saying that they stand with the black community. They understand the social unrest that is happening in our society today. They also understand so much so to where they're going to put money towards educating all of their company on blacks and the whole subject.
You know why?
Okay?
Because they don't want y'all black asses breaking into their establishment.
So you're so concerned about, and this is the problem that I have with Black America.
They don't want y'all black asses.
This is the problem that I have with Black America. There are those out there rioting and looting, but that does not does not discount those who are in the black community who are doing things the right way. There are people out there affecting change in law.
Jonathan said it right here.
What did he say?
He said they not dumb. They trying to protect the rest of their stores. You goddamn right. Anything that I gotta say to make your black asses not jump into my stuff, I'ma say it.
And it may be, but guess what?
You better stop.
They still gonna get more money in insurance claims than they would had anything else happen. So what's your excuse for that?
Is anybody looting the Vision store? I need new contacts. Is anybody looting the Vision store? The Vision store in Capitol House, I need new contacts. I got a 5.75 in one and a 5.25 in the other.
Obviously, they not looting those kind of stores because it's not the stuff that they want. Hurt them in the pockets.
It ain't looting. It's stealing.
I don't agree.
Target.
I don't agree. I do not agree with looting. But I'm saying rioting and looting.
Where the stuff happened in Minnesota. So you got to know the history. The reason why they closed down the Targets and the Walmarts is because in Minnesota, that's where the stuff happened.
Okay.
That's why they closed down. Up here, all over, they said, and then they said,
Mama.
They said, I'm telling you what they said.
You're going to just take it.
I'm taking it.
You're going to just take it.
And then they said, stop.
Somebody gonna get a whooping.
Let me tell y'all.
Don't talk over me.
Mama,
don't talk over me. They said all these places did not go to because Trump. They supporting Trump.
Okay.
So all the losers don't support it.
The two people that's in the camera, can we talk?
Okay. I'm gonna talk too because I have a part too.
All right. So what
Mary
I'm saying?
said, get her on camera. No, thank you, because she'll take over the whole show. No. Don't you dare get up, Mama. Sit down.
Okay. So
I'm saying, Darius, look what you did.
So me personally, what I think that
here's their beautiful mama right here.
With her life alert around her neck. She calling the police. Anytime you do something to her, she calling the police. What I'm saying.
Sure will.
So, what I'm saying, because I never got to answer my question.
But,
my sister.
no,
look at her.
she's
She the big sister. She could just holler.
No, because you're talking. You've been talking and interrupting my point.
Because you're so long. You
talk for thousands of hours first.
God damn, they so long.
You just get on my nerves.
You don't have to curse.
What I'm saying is,
but let's be honest. No, let's be honest. Have you even taken the time to look at the news?
Let me tell you what my
in the article they have been
Mel Nicole, you right.
My sister told me that the reason why she supported looting is because if you hit them in their pocket.
I didn't say I supported looting. I said the reason I understand it. Don't misquote me.
Can you go loot me?
Don't misquote me.
Can you go loot me some shit?
Don't misquote me, him.
Can you go loot me?
Don't misquote me, him.
What I'm saying.
But let's be honest. There have been several articles, several press releases that have been released to say there are white people and people who have different agendas who are looting these places. If I see something already looted, again, I don't agree with it. If I see somebody already breaking in, why would I not go in if I wanted something at that store and get what I want?
Because you slow, and your black ass gonna get caught. That's why. Did y'all see that fat girl who was trying to get out that hair store? Her fat ass almost got caught. You slow. Don't you take your ass in there? You know you fucking run 2 miles an hour. What you gonna take your black ass in there for?
You don't stop cussing and calling
people who loot need to be fast on your feet.
It's not such.
First of all, I'm fast on my feet.
I'm talking about why you won't go, girl. You go up in there, you gonna get caught, and they're gonna shoot your black ass.
Jasmine, no cursing and no calling people fat.
That made me mad.
Oh, I'm not fat at all.
If
I'm just saying. I'm
see,
explaining to you the mentality of those who are out there doing it.
So if
I don't have that mentality because I'm just not that kind of person.
If somebody jumps out the bridge, you gonna jump out.
I did not. Did I just? Do you listen?
Girl, I'm telling you one thing. All y'all down there protesting.
Is your hearing aid turned on?
Say my name in there. I'm there spiritually. I will not be there physically because they will not shoot my black ass because I love my life.
But what are you doing?
What is the subject?
What are you doing?
What is everybody on this live doing?
No,
is anybody? Please raise your hand.
What are you doing?
Everybody that's on this live. Have y'all been down there protesting? Please raise your hand and hurry up.
Because you'll get shot with a pepper.
Thank you. I'm not getting shot for y'all.
So is rioting and looting the only thing that you can do?
People that are down
there.
No.
Is rioting and looting the only thing that you can do?
No, I pray. I'm not going to go through.
Okay, so faith without works is dead. So what are your works?
But the people that are down there.
What are your works?
I'm here.
Are you looting and rioting and protesting?
Are you done with your questions? I answer.
I'm protesting in my mind.
If you take a look at all of my schoolwork and all the letters that I've written my professors and all the letters that I've written to Liberty University, who has just come out to say that they're supporting Donald Trump, I don't agree with it. And I have used my platform to speak to not just my classmates, not just my teachers, but to the leadership of Liberty University. That's what I'm doing. That's how I started.
Well, what they say.
They haven't responded yet, but I am doing something. That's the problem that we have. That's the problem that we have with Black America. That's the problem we have with Black America. Instead of you talking about the rioting and looting, what are you doing? Everybody got to do something. Just like back in Martin Luther King days, not everybody was out there rioting. Not everybody was out there because somebody had to watch the kids. So our mom and them kids make sure that they was raised right.
Niggas watch the kids.
So what are you doing? That's what I'm saying. Everybody has such a negative connotation and bad stuff to say about those who are rioting and those who are looting. What are you doing?
I don't have nothing negative.
You just called it stupid.
Did I say stupid?
Yes, you did.
Let me backtrack. Y'all not stupid. I'm just not gonna be out there with you. I'm not gonna be sweating.
Okay, so
I'm not gonna sweat for you. I'm not gonna be out there hollering. I'm not gonna be twerking.
So what are you
I'm not
gonna
put sage in front of police officers. I'm gonna stay at home and I'm gonna wait till all this passes over.
So when it doesn't pass over, then what?
I'm gonna run and hide.
That's the problem we have right now. Because what happened in between Martin LutherKing and Malcolm X and what we have now, Black people have run.
You're not gonna shoot no bullet in my ass.
I'm just saying.
You're not gonna shoot no bullet in my ass.
You don't have to riot and you don't have to loot. But what are you doing to affect change?
I'm getting hot, child. I'm starting to sweat because she hollering at the top of her lungs.
I'm not hollering. That's you hollering. Again. you take my question as hollering because you don't have an answer. You're not going to riot and you're not going to loot. So what are you going to do? How are you going to affect change? And again, faith without works is dead. So what are your works?
Why do you keep saying faith without works?
That's what the Bible say. You just said I'm gonna pray,
but
you just brought in the
you
element of
bring
Christ.
in Jesus, but you just
brought it in. You said I'm gonna pray. Now your heart ain't get killed. That's what you just said.
I'm just gonna keep on doing what I've been doing. I'm staying out the way. I just can't. I don't see myself. I'm slow. I got these long legs for nothing. I can't run fast. So if shit break out, I can't run. I'ma just lay there like I'm dead, like a damn dead dog. I can't do it.
Francesca says, do you think people should get upset with their employers for not reaching out to them as black employees with everything going on? I absolutely do not. But what I do have a problem with... What they gonna reach out to your black ass for?
Jasmine, you keep saying that. You see your children right here.
Francesca, I don't. But
Jasmine,
what I do have a problem with is when you work at an establishment that is doing the same thing and repeating the same treatment of people of color or any person, period. Then you don't step up and you don't make it known that you have a problem and you don't make it known that this is an issue for you or that you're struggling or that you're dealing with it. Then you just sit back and you expect them to come to you. That's the problem.
And let me say this.
Repeating the problem. We sit back, as Black America, we have sat back for too long and expected justice to come to us. It's not going to happen that way.
I agree with that.
No.
It is not going to happen that way. I'm here to tell you, it is not going to happen that way. And everything Martin Luther King and Malcolm X have done is going to continue to go as water under the bridge and only be acknowledged by white people because they want a little piece of clout in Black America.
Clout.
It's going to continue to do that until we as black people stand up to say, bruh, I'm not going to deal with it no more.
I'm not
whether that be
because of COVID.
Whether that be like me, you emailing and you make an impact on those who are closest around you. Whether that be you are supporting financially Black Lives Matter. Whether that be you are financially or by connecting people that you know together to effect change. Whether that be you are learning everything you can learn about the laws and how they are written and you affect change that way. It will not happen by us sitting back.
And you know what? Issue that I'm having is because I guess it's not even an issue. It's just a perspective that people have that we should only be supporting black businesses right now. And please excuse me, because when I say this, it's more white people down there protesting than black people.
Those people are brought in from out of town. They're planted. Absolutely. They're planted
The white people?
Yeah, they are. Absolutely. They're not from us.
Most of them are planted, but I happen to know a lot of white people that are out there. However, we have to understand.
So were they brought here?
We have to understand.
They are all brought in.
I'm going to say this, and this is just what it's going to be. Back in Martin Luther King and Malcolm X's time,
were you there?
Writing, I read and I understood what happened. What happened back then, they got the attention of those who needed to be, of the people who needed to get there. They got the attention of the powers that be by rioting and looting. Today is a different time. It's our time to use our influence.
Exactly.
By that I mean, I have several white friends. Most of them have reached out. Most of them have made comments. Most of them have stood up and made posts or videos. Most of them have. There are a lot of them that have not. There are white people who support black lives, who don't want to see the injustice continue. There are white people in every community everywhere that don't want to see this kind of repetitive cycle. But the problem that exists right now is those white people have no education, they have no backing, they are not prepared to go out and do the work that needs to be done. By the work that needs to be done, I mean them using their influence in their white circles to challenge the thought processes that exist. Only white people can talk to white people and really get through to them. And it's our time, Black America, to empower, engage, and encourage those white people that are closest to us to go and pull down those constructs that exist in the white community. And until we get to that place where we
community needs to get educated as well.
Until we as Black America can get to the place where we learn to equip, empower, and educate these white people on how to go to their communities and challenge these constructs, it'll continue to happen.
And because we thinking, I'm not black enough. Because I mean, I guess I'm not black enough. Because I had a conversation the other day with somebody, and he was telling me because I hadn't experienced the shit that he experienced. I don't know. Because I don't know the struggle. You know, I'm not black enough. My mama, I had a gold spoon to my. I didn't experience none of that. And if somebody did F with me, my mama was coming, marching, stomping, everything. and that's how I am now today with my child. You're not gonna mess with my child. Period. Like, I'm gonna write papers to the goddamn president. I'm gonna go marching at his. I mean, it's just certain shit that I just won't do though. Like the shit they doing downtown, like the twerking in front of the police officers, and a lot of people doing it for clout. Like they going up and taking pictures right in front of the police officer. It's peaceful. It's peaceful protest going on. That protest with that Terry guy who walking all the way from whatchamacallit all by himself. A peaceful protest. It's just people down here that it's so extra. Black people are just too extra for me, and I'm not gonna put my life in jeopardy because I got somebody I gotta come home to every night. I'm not gonna go there and get shot with a rubber bullet in my ass. I'm not gonna do it. Like, you're not gonna have me sitting up in the hospital bed because I got trampled over by these big ass horses. It's just not about to happen. So
I agree.
I'm ain't cool at home.
I think that's not enough, and the reason I say that is because you just said
everybody got their own opinion. Listen, and I don't give up.
Listen to what I'm saying. You just said if anybody mess with your daughter, you going to write
my blood daughter. Yes.
Can you listen? I'm about to punch you in your neck, in your jugular.
We're gonna be fighting up in this month.
You just said if somebody mess with your daughter, you going through hell and high water.
Hell and high water
to make sure she's all right. What's happening in our society is eventually going to affect your child.
When it do.
So what I'm saying to you, like I just repeated, faith without works is dead. You going to challenge, you on the PTA at the school where she was, right?
President.
Okay. You can affect change in that. You can affect change in the PTA. And who's to say when you affect change in the PTA with the other white parents?
We can't help nothing right now. It's COVID.
I'm just saying.
It's COVID. It's COVID. I ain't about to have y'all coughing on me with y'all dirty ear strings from your mask. Y'all not about to be coughing on me and getting me sick.
But my point still stands. If you affect change in the spheres of influence that you have around you, the things that you have your hands in, the things that you can change, the things that you can challenge, you never know where that'll stop. You got to start affecting the people around you. Okay?
I agree, y'all. With that being said, our time is coming to an end.
Tune in.
Wait. Read this first. Yeah, read this.
Y'all tune in.
Everybody's gonna read it.
Read what I just said. Yeah, read it then, yeah.
Post it, Jesus.
Read it.
Last comment we're gonna read is from my mom because she's over here being very persistent.
Read it.
She says, that's right. They are brought in to protest. I stand for Black Lives Matter. The thought process has to start now. We have the floor. I cried when George Floyd yelled, "Mama, mama." I could see only my son or my daughter. Oh dear God, please show
I hope you want to talk about
our daughters to use this platform to affect change. We're definitely gonna affect it.
Y'all,
we're gonna be back next week with another show. Tune in. If nothing else, the Righteous and the Ratchet podcast, we're gonna definitely influence change where we can. Listen to this podcast, share and like and whatever you can.
That's my mama, y'all. That's my mama. That's the one. That's the voice on the side, the mystery man voice on the side.
Lord have mercy.
We love y'all. We love all our supporters. Please
we love
share.
Y'all. Tune in, like the page, share the page. We'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Thank you.